Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for this match reaction. Match reaction on the back of the actual game as well, guys. Smash the like, share it out, subscribe if you want to as well. Guys, just make sure that don't worry about this right now because I know it's playing around at the moment. It always glitches in and around now. It should get better, the Wi-Fi, but I'm sorry again, I can't do much about it. Big up everyone that is in here as well, guys. Smash the likes, subscribe. The Chelsea comeback is complete. Not the best performance in the first half up against Nottingham Forest, where it was a little bit slow. It was a little bit dry. It was a little bit It was just a little bit But then it got better. And we saw a better performance in the second half, in parts later with the substitutions made early as well. Lots to get into, and let's cue that in. Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV and GNA TV for another show here. Match reaction. Chelsea on the night do win the game eventually. It was 2-3. Oh my God, 1 second. This helicopter. My goodness. That helicopter was driving me crazy. Chelsea winning on the night 3-2. But it wasn't easy. And we didn't make it easy. When do we ever make it easy? That's the real big question mark on all this. When do we ever make it easy, Chelsea fans? We don't. We just don't make it easy. And do you know what? It was a great result at the end of it. I did say in my group chat with the panel, and obviously the panel is going to be coming on very soon as well, guys, that, evidently we had to win this. We had to win this game. Poch had to win this game because these are the games where he needs to win to get European football. If he doesn't get European football, he's out the door. And there was parts of today again where you looked and you waited and you wanted to see reaction from the manager. And there was, to a degree, there was a reaction. We got a reaction from him into at some point through the game, especially in the second half with the substitutions. The one thing that we collar him on or criticize him on a lot is the lack of substitutional changes, the lateness of them. And, for him to make the decisions that he made at the right time this time, not leaving it to the 70th minute, 80th minute. Oh, Chelsea 2-1 behind. We're chasing the game and then make substitutions. He didn't. 60th minute, he brought some players and he tried to change the game. He introduced Reece James, obviously Malo Gusto and Nkunku, Sterling, all top players. And some people may argue should be starting in our team once a fit as well. So, for me, it was an important win. It's an important win for where we are in the table right now, guys. When you look at where we are in the table, we're now currently 7th with that win against Nottingham Forest. Sorry, I'm very thirsty. I've been on holiday, guys. Good to be back with you guys as always. But yeah, we are sitting 7th in the league at the moment on the same points as Newcastle at the moment. The only difference between the two of us right now is the goal difference. The goal difference is what settles it between the two currently. Form-wise, we 1-3, with 1-3, drawn 1, lost 1. They've got the same record as we have at the moment. It leaves it down to 2 games left. Can Chelsea make it to the Europa League? And when you look at the games that Chelsea have left to play in this games, Brighton on Wednesday, guys, that's going to be a big one for us. Brighton away. It's not going to be an easy game. Brighton always tend to be quite a bit of a bogey team in many ways. If they turn up, they can cause problems. We know that. But that's one of our games which we've got coming up on Wednesday, which we'll be doing a match preview to. And then there's the home game against Bournemouth. What happened there? The home game against Bournemouth that we've got coming up as well. So ultimately, these are our last 2 games, big important games as well. Welcoming everyone in the chat. Do me a favor, guys. Let's get this up to 100 likes on YouTube. Smash the like buttons as much as we can, guys. I'd massively appreciate it if you could do that because it helps the channel. Make sure you subscribe as well as come and say hello to some of you guys in the chat before we move on. Coco, how are we doing? Adam, good to see you as well. Ashraf says Poch was criminal today. Individual performance saved him once again. Yes, however, the decision to bring on these individuals at specific times, and yes, the performances and them critical moments is what won it. But you could say Poch made the right substitutions, because he did. He did make the right substitutions. Someone that's been very critical of him, in me, someone that's not, been happy with his own man management skills, how he sets us up, how he problem solves, how he changes the game. All these things that we haven't seen a lot of earlier in the season. Now we are starting to see we're starting to see, right, sticking to a system, number one, because he's stuck with the same players again for the last, 3 or 4 games now. But also, now having the players to be able to tactically make decisions a bit sooner, which is what we wanted to see. Because once the players start coming back in, he's got to start making things happening. And in today, we found ourselves in a tough position where we had moments in the first half, individual players having bozo moments again, not releasing the ball quick enough, not transitioning quick enough into the next phase of the pitch quick enough as well. So there was so many things going on that we just didn't do well in the first half. And it was all important to see how we come out in the second. What he did tell us in the second half, because Cucurella not to be inverted. Cucurella then was more of a left back in the second half than he was in that inverted area, which in many games has worked. In this game, he kind of struggled, and I think the setup of Nottingham Forest you can't discredit, because they're playing the 5 at the back with the 2 holdings in the middle. It made it very hard to go through the middle of them because they had the numbers, but also when we went wide, it made it slightly harder because the wing backs of Forest were tracking back as well, and it was just it was good, and we're going to go through all that in a minute as well. Let me just quickly say hello to some more people. Daniel, good to see you as well. Let me open this blimmin' window, guys. There's nearly 200 people in the chat right now. Make sure you're smashing the lights. Come and say hello, everyone in the chat. H-Rack K, you doing? Reece James is our own. Edwin, good to see you. Peter, glad we succeeded in getting all 3 points. He's happy with that. Sean, good to see you. Big up to you, Sean, Parvis, Mac, Billy, Junior, Cesar. My question to you guys is Poch safe still, guys? For you, is Poch safe? Is Poch safe? Or do you think it just depends on where he finishes at the end of this season? Jamie, good to see you. We've done it again. Listen, we never get boring, do we? We're never boring to watch, are we? That's the one thing I'd say about Chelsea. It's never done in such a comfortable manner. Barring maybe the Tottenham game recently. Everything's always done in some sort of way where we just make things hard. We just make things hard, Yes, Ella, darling, how are you? Great turnaround. So happy to see Reece. Yes, it's good to see some of the players back. It's just a shame that it's so late in the season, right? We've only got 2 games left, 2 very important games. Like I was saying here just now, we are on 57 points. Our goal difference doesn't help us at the moment because obviously Newcastle are ahead at the moment. But push come to shove, who are Newcastle's next 2 games? Let's have a quick look. Newcastle's next 2 games are now Man United away, which they could drop points. Only we have Brighton away, so we have Brighton, they have Man United. That could be dropping points, and then they've got Brentford away and Brentford away. Brentford are a very good team at home. They could possibly do some damage, and then they have Tottenham. How many games they played? 1 second. Have they not played yet? Oh, right. We've caught them, but they've got to play tomorrow, which means we'll have a game in hand of them, right? Is that correct? That can't be right. They're on 36 games. Hey? They played today, 1-1. They've got Newcastle, Brentford, and... they've got Man United, Brentford, and Tottenham. Hey? Am I missing something here, guys? Am I missing something here? I swear they've played 36 games. Yeah. Hey? Right, has anyone seen that, or is that me? I am baffed. Andrew, how you doing, bro? Big up to you. Thank you for the donations. It's big up, Jim. Reece James. Oh, it's a friendly game. Why are they playing a friendly game so close? Why is it saying that? Why is it saying that they've got 3 games? I'm sitting there like, is this the Premier League going up against Chelsea Football Club again? They're just giving the teams 1 extra game on top to try and finish it, make sure that they finish the job on us. Like, what's going on here? Andrew, big up to you. Thank you for the donation. Good to see you as well. I hope Poch stays. Sacking him won't solve anything. Plus, there is no one better. It is what she says. Is what Ella says there. Do we agree with her, guys, in the chat? Spurs is a friendly. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Guys, keep smashing the likes if you can. We've nearly got 300 people in the building as well. Keep smashing the likes. Keep sharing it out, guys, please, if you can. That will massively help. Poch has shown today that he can change tactics when it was not working. Shame he didn't do it throughout this season. He needs to fix our defence, conceding 61 goals. Yes, and do you know what? I agree with most of that Sky Shooter. I think that he has, recently shown, not say changed tactics, but made right decisions in problem solving in between the games, which is what I've been waiting to watch to see with him. He done that for an element today. Listen, the players didn't perform very well in the first half. We weren't good. We were very slow in tempo. We weren't building up the play quick enough. It wasn't pretty to the eye. It really wasn't pretty to the eye. I wasn't seeing this quick one-touch passing, and how we have been playing, pressuring up the pitch together, going together on the press wasn't as clear to the eye today. A lot of players making them, I call them bozo moments, where they get the ball, like Jackson. I think Jackson had a horrendous game today. I'm not going to lie. I know he scored at the end, but he only had a very horrendous game. And, even in that moment with Jackson, he still, even the first half, he still wasn't releasing the ball quick enough. Noni Madueke wasn't releasing the ball quick enough, wasn't beating his man, wasn't doing enough. I thought Mudryk had a better game than Madueke today. I thought the midfield was meh today again. We looked quite open in positions. I thought Gallagher struggled in the game. I thought Caicedo wasn't as good as in the first half, was a bit lost. The second half kind of sort of grinded his way back into it in a way, And then there was the defence, and Chalobah playing right back, subsequently when you got Gusto and James on the bench, kind of filling in, and again wasn't amazing, it wasn't good, and it was just about making the right decisions and the right tactical decisions in the game, and it feels like he did do that in moments, and the subs made the difference. Reece James made the difference. Josh, big up to you. Let's go through some of the bits I've got, guys. We've got some bits. We've got the panel to come and join us soon as well. We've got player ratings to come in as well. 3 Premier League wins in a row for Chelsea Football Club. We're in a good run of form at the moment. I think is it 14 games now that we haven't lost in the Premier League or something like that. So ain't really at home. I think that is anyway. In terms of the recent run of form, Chelsea's form in the second half of this season supposedly has been very good. So yeah, it's good to hear. We're winning games, and that's equally the most important thing right now, because for me, most importantly is win and then performance. If he wins games, he keeps his job. I've said this about Pochettino for a long time now. People that have known me for long enough, I've always said to everyone, if Pochettino gets Europa League football, he stays, which means he has to win every game to the end of the season. So far, so good. Very close today. Very, very close today. And if people will say some of the players dug him out, no, we just had better quality players on the bench today, and he made the right decisions at the right time. And I keep stressing it. Sterling coming on and making a difference today, being clutch in front of goal. Reece James with his assist within 2 minutes of first touch on the ball, which was a world-class assist, guys. World-class assist onto Jackson's head, who had a very poor game today. These were equally the big moments in the game. And when you look at how they set up, how they made it so hard for us as well. Johan, who's someone that I follow quite well, he tactically sort of broke down the setup of Nottingham Forest and how it looked. Guys, do me a favour, keep smashing the like buttons if you can. There's over 200 people in here. Keep running it up, guys. We are going to have the panel in soon to go through a lot more with me. Look how long it took for him to assist and expose that right-hand side. I know, Hazy, but that's what class is permanent, right? It's just permanent. Yes, Blue for life. How are we doing? I hope you're well. So we've got this here, and it goes on to say Forest not only had a back five that prevents the 5 versus 4 overloads against our back line, but they're tucking their wingers inside to prevent our 4 versus 2 central overloads. So something that we've done very well, we've seen it, is this. Caicedo going into here, Gallagher pushing up a little bit more. Sterling or say Palmer, Gallagher and Palmer would sort of pressed a bit further. And then you had Mudryk and Madueke and then Jackson. But the issue we had very well is they had Chris Wood just sitting in between here, just using his physical presence. But then they tucked Hudson Odoi and the other guy in for the middle. Rather than making them hang on out here, where they should be, chasing down here, they tucked him in to make it hard for Cucurella and Caicedo. And equally, I just don't think we used the wings well enough. I felt like the space was here and here, but we just kind of kept trying to play it through the middle in the first half. And they kept breaking it down. Every time Gallagher received it, he got hit. Every time Palmer tried to just float around, which he was doing very well. And again, he set up a lovely, beautiful goal for the club today. You know, receiving the ball in these lines, they were following him. It was easy, but it wasn't shifting this back five. And Jackson coming deep and receiving still didn't shift in. It was the getting in behind that we had to do more. And that's what led to Mudryk's goal. Palmer found his position in and around this box here, plays in the through ball in between the defence, cuts them completely open, and we find our first goal, which again, I think Mudryk deserves a bit of plaudits today. Very good finish. But we need to see more, and he needs to be more consistent in himself, how he moves forward in the game. We need to see more. You know, no, of course not. You know, we need to see more. We lost 4 points to Sheffield and Burnley. It might haunt us. Yeah, it probably will. It might do. It just depends what happens with Newcastle in their last couple of games. Yeah, you know. So these subsequently are important. You know, important parts of the game, and it made it very hard. And this is why Pochettino. And I said to people, why has Pochettino stopped going with the inverted Cucurella? Well, he stopped going with the inverted Cucurella because they were set up to break it down and make it hard. Teams weren't coming out and chasing us around, which is why the inverted Cucurella worked very well. Where they sit back and they tuck in their wingers, it makes it very harder for us to play through them. And there wasn't the space in these pockets behind in the first half. Slowed our tempo down, slowed the way that we try to move forward through the middle, through our transitions, and they call us. But set up consequently, the forward line, specifically Jackson and Mudryk, two players that I'm going to pick out more than anything, we're not very good with the ball when we did try and break. You know, too much carrying, holding on off the ball rather than looking up and playing balls in. There was a bit of everything today that just didn't work in the first half for me. And that was a big part of the reason why we struggled, or why we struggled against them in that period. Guys, do me a favor, keep smashing the likes. Subscribe if you're new here as always. Get these likes over 100 likes, please, guys. We've got the panel joining us soon as well. But listen, guys, he's back. That's all I'm going to say. He is back. It's taken Reece James just 2 minutes and 52 seconds to provide an assist on his return to action for Chelsea. There we go. Mr. Reece James, the baller himself. We've got another one here for him. And his overall match performance for us as well. Reece James in 11 minutes. This was in 11 minutes, guys. 1 assist, 2 long balls, 3 out of 5 total duels won, 5 fouls. There he is. There he is. He's back. And we've done something that we haven't been able to do all season. We played him in the right back position and we played Gusto as a right winger. Now, not to say that I like to see that, but I think in the future, it definitely gives you a good option if you're up against a team that has the quality to maybe counter, maybe like a Man City or someone like that. I could see a Reece James and a Malo Gusto playing over a Noni Madueke, for example, because we have by having both of them playing off the right, you know that any two of them can go forward. And I think if Reece James, like he did, went forward and created that goal, you know, if in that style, if we can do that, and Gusto, who understands the role of holding back, you never get affected, is what I'm trying to get at. So every time Reece James gets forward and plays that ball in, you ain't got to worry about the right position because you've got Gusto there, and vice versa. So it was versatility, is what I'm trying to get at. It was the versatility of the wing. Now, I don't think Gusto's great going forward and trying to cross balls in. I think James is better. But you saw in moments, especially in the half that James come on and created that goal, that there could be a chance where they could have that switch and understanding where one goes, one stays, one goes, one stays. I'm not saying we're going to keep doing that in every game and we'll see that. But what I'm saying is it gives us an option in versatility. You don't want to do that most games because they're both injury prone. We know that, you know. But it did give us an option. Yes, Stephen, good to see you, bro. Joe, how are you? Jackson is our best striker since Diego Costa. He has 14 goals this season. Very impressive for such a raw talent. Joe, it is Joe. He's just very frustrating. You know, I think everything in his game, the drop in, holding the ball, usually the carrying and the releasing, it's just that final third presence. And that goal today, he couldn't have missed. It was put on the plate by Reece James. But, you know, he's final. We know that his final part of his game's not there. We know that, like you said, he's very raw. Will he find that? Potentially, he may find that in himself. But he does frustrate me. And like today, he just had too many moments where he was on the ball too much, he carried the ball too much. He lost he lost the ball a bit too much for my liking as well. And there was just too many moments where it just wasn't, I get why we're looking for a striker, but I also see how he can be a part of this team moving forward, because I think he brings qualities that we don't have. And I think he plays better in a deeper role for me, someone that can arrive in the box. Love Caicedo. What a player as well. Jackson is going to be a really, really good player for us in the future as well. We have got forward of us in a second. We're going to come to him in a bit. I just want to quickly go through this quickly, this goal here. Now, let's quickly do that because I'll get into. There we go. Now, if you look at how this starts quickly, so this is the second half where we're 2-1 behind. Oh no, sorry, this is when we're 2-2. We've just drawn and Sterling's just scored. So Kukureya's holding his position out in the left now. So he wasn't doing what he was in the first half, where he's finding himself more next to him, next to Caicedo, which subsequently didn't work. And I think Pochettino saw that and had to make a decision to switch. So he's gone and played the ball into Caicedo here. But if you can see right now, Caicedo still had what I saw in the second half again, which I wasn't. Again, I don't mind it when we're chasing games, but I don't like seeing moving forward is this. It's just too much. I mean, he's got so much space because he hasn't got the press, but he's the only player in the midfield again. He's on his own. But this is something that I think Caicedo doesn't get, we don't talk about too much when it comes to Caicedo. So he plays the ball into Gusto, who drops into here. And Kunku starts making a run to try and create space. He receives it back here. And then this. This is something that people do not talk about enough when it comes to Caicedo. And he does this quite a lot in games. Now, that kind of ball, one-touch pass over the top there, is, for me, as important as the rest of it. Because to be able to do that, that's like an Enzo Fernandez ball. I'm not joking. That's like saying Enzo would do. Straight over the top, into the space. James runs onto it. And then when it gets to here, to have the quality to be able to clear 3 defenders and find Jackson, who, by the way, when you look at it there, that's one hard hell of a pass he's got to make, because the goalie could come out and catch it. He's got to get it in between the goalie. He's got to get it in between the defence. The way that they're set up here is good, because if he hits it short and low, they can deal with it. But the way that he connects with this ball here, look, the goalie's gone. He can't get nowhere near it. It completely wipes out the first defender, the second defender. The third defender goes to jump straight over his head. And look, Jackson doesn't have to do anything. He literally doesn't have to do anything here. It's just, it's that good of a pass. It's that good of a pass. All we had to do was just header it a goal. And that one ball across the pitch wiped out the goalie, the 3 defenders completely out the game. And we ended up winning the game. And that's the difference in the quality of what we're watching. That's the difference in the quality of individuals of what we've missed all season. And it was a very good goal. It was a very good goal. And that was within 2 minutes. 2 minutes of him coming on, guys. Guys, we've got nearly 350 people in the building right now. How are we all doing, guys? Okay, cool. Forward. How are you doing, bro? Good to see you. Guys, do me a favor. Smash the like buttons. We've got over 300 people in here, 20 minutes in. Subscribe, like if you can as well. We've got player ratings to go through. We've got a lot more to come through. The panel's coming through as well. Forward. How are we doing, brother?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. That's already £15 in the piggy bank, though, because you said forward 3 times. It's ads. But I'm in a good mood. Yeah, we're doing that every time. But I'm in a good mood. You're in a good mood. The fan base is in a good mood. We won a game. We won it well. It's 3 in a row in the league, which we haven't done in God knows how long. It's good times, man. Good vibes. Good performances all around. Well, mostly around. And then obviously the cameo from Reece James. I mean, it just rings a tear to an old man's eye, man. Honestly, it was good to see that, man. Good to see it.
Look at them stats, mate. 1 assist, 2 out of 2 long balls, 3 out of 5 duels, 1 fouled once. That was in 11 minutes. And that assist that he made was in 2 minutes of coming on, bro. 2 minutes. He made the ball.
Yeah, it's just quality. It's just quality. Like, I haven't got long, unfortunately. But I mean, if I did, I would talk all day about this guy alone, because he was just top, man. And again, you just can't really quantify the quality that he brings, the composure that he brings onto the pitch. And if you look at him this season, like, he's only played about maybe 150 minutes all told. He started against City. He started against Liverpool. There's one other game in there where he came off injured. Like, most of the time when he's playing extremely well, doing great things on the pitch. And the cross today was amazing. There was even one switch ball. Some of the stuff that he did is just top quality, bro. And again, a player like him, people talking about all the injuries and maybe we need to sell and this, that, the other, Gusto surpassed him and all of this talking. It's like people just have such short memories because this is one of the best fullbacks in the world. One of the top, like, again, when you look at the Premier League, it's starving of top quality players in their positions. And this guy, he brings top quality consistently when he touches the pitch. So as long as he can stay fit, we're laughing, man, honestly.
Also, just quickly, Bun Cho for celebrating like he did against us for everything we've done for him as well. So I'm just going to.
I mean, are we going to talk on him? Are we going to talk on him slightly? Because I mean, I did mention it before the game, him versus Mudryk. We'll see how they go. And to be fair, they both scored. I think one person performed particularly better. But no, I mean, listen. I'm happy that we moved on from him because he wasn't the same player post the injury. Obviously, he scored against us and he celebrated, which is quite funny. But no, it was interesting seeing him today out there going against Mudryk on the same pitch. It was interesting. And he had a good game, you have to admit, scored a great goal. Could have had a couple of assists as well, actually.
Yeah,
so interesting.
Talk to me about Raheem Sterling. Because at the moment, we're just talking about the players that made the impacts. And obviously, Raheem Sterling, who we haven't seen in a while, gets on the pitch, cuts inside. And I said it, clutch Raheem Sterling, clinical Raheem Sterling, inside and then started the foot around the corner. This is at a point where we were 2-1 behind and we really needed someone to step up and make a moment happen there. I mean, he was brought on late, but he was brought on, and I think it was important that he was brought on today. For me personally, I think we had to have Sterling on the pitch at some point throughout the game. I don't think we can always play Mudryk and Madueke for various reasons. I think today answered that in many ways. Yep. What was your thoughts on the impact from Sterling as well when he came on?
It was a big goal. It was individual quality to get the goal. Like he picked up out wide and he did something that we didn't really see Mudryk do in that sense of just cutting in and being a threat cutting in and actually like damaging the team with a run inside. Like obviously Mudryk scored a good goal today running them behind, but in terms of picking up and driving, we didn't really see that same threat from Mudryk that we were seeing from Cho for most of the game. Obviously Raz came on in a short period of time. He did that, and that's what you want to see players do off the bench. And it's a big because we didn't have this a lot of the season, like strength and depth, where we're struggling in a game and we can actually bring on players with like known quality to actually go and impact the game. So to have him come on, obviously to have Reece James come on, it's big, and again we needed that at the time. So big up to Raheem because he's had a pretty hard last few weeks and months even since the Leicester game where he had that shocking performance, and he's pretty much lost his place. But for him to come in, get a goal like that, you got to big him up, man.
AJ's in the building as well. Big up to AJ, the boy. Good to see him as always. Before we move on to some other bits, AJ, we're just talking about specific individuals' impacts. But obviously, we just spoke about Reece James. Obviously, we're going to come back to him in the player ratings a bit later. But Raheem Sterling, what was your thoughts on his impact in the game when coming on?
Big up. What's up, Ads? What's up, Jim? Man, Raheem Sterling, he made an instant impact, really. What else can you say? This is what we've been expecting from Raheem. He's supposed to be that guy to, give us that goal and experience in the games, So to me, he's just doing his job. I'm glad to see it, though. I wish, like I said, I wish that it happened way more often because I think he has the ability to do it, and he's proven that he can do it. It's just not consistent. So, I'm glad he did it today. It was a big game for him to do it today. We really needed it at that moment.
By the way, I just love this picture from Trevor Chalobah, my skipper. Anyone knows what my eyes are doing? Look, if anyone knows what my eyes are doing, look at my boy here. Big up Trevor Chalobah. And he did have an easy game today at right back. Obviously, we're going to talk about that a bit later on. And you know what we'll do for now, actually, this before we actually break into the game, because I want to do that. I just want to quickly, obviously, point out this as well. I know we talk about him a lot. But again, I think he's just so important in what we do, and everything that goes well seems to come from Cole Palmer at Chelsea as well. He's only only 3 English players that have scored top 20 plus goals and provided 10 plus assists in 38 games in the Premier League campaign. Is Frank Lampard, Harry Kane, and now Cole Palmer. Yeah,
it's a good list right there.
That's a crazy list. So they're saying Rooney's never did that. Wow, and even then, like. They're saying Frank Lampard and Kane only did that once in their whole career, and Cole Palmer done it in his first. Like these are crazy numbers, and it's even past just the numbers of someone like CP. Like what he actually does on the pitch, his performances, the passes that don't get assisted, like the passes that we miss chances from, like all of it, it's just top quality. And again, I look at people like him, people like Reece James, maybe what Nkunku can bring us fully fit. Like we're gonna have some top ballers in this team, man. So it's seeing them all combine and link together. Caicedo, a fully fit Enzo back. It's looking good, man. It's looking good if you can just make it all work in the proper system, man.
Yep.
Anything you want to add, AJ, to this?
No, I think ads hit it right there. That first of all, this list is insane because those are all Lampard and Kane are world class players. So what does that say about Cole Palmer? So. And again, like Ad said, it's his first season. He's just getting his feet wet now. So next season it could be even crazier. So
I agree.
It's a blessing to have him.
Mauricio Pochettino's comments on Sky before we go into the speech about the overall game. It's over 200 people here, guys. Keep smashing the likes, share it out, please. Get these likes up to over 100, guys, on both channels, please. If we can do that, it'd be amazing. Pochettino clarifies previous comments on his future to Sky and confirms he won't walk away from Chelsea. It was an honest conversation to clarify if the owners are happy with our job, we can continue. There is 1 year more on my contract. I'm thinking to be here. So his mindset is that he's thinking to be here. But I think, to be quite honest with you, the reason that he's kind of coming out and making these comments that he is because I think he knows what the targets currently are at the moment. And his target is to get European football. And I don't think it's conference. I think it's minimum Europa League. And we should be.
I believe they said that. I believe they said it's not conference league, it's Europa,
It's got to be, it's got to be the Europa League. At minimum, we've got to be in the top 6. And we are now on the same points as Newcastle. They've got Man United on Wednesday away. We've got Brighton away on Wednesday. For me, that is a very, very big game midweek, which we will be highlighting as well, guys, for you as well. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. And going back to today's game, I mean, forward. Let's go to you.
Yeah, hold on. Just on this, it's funny that he says this, and he had to do this because he realized that he was getting backlash, from how he reacted in that press conference. And with today's win, he has to now try to make it smooth with the owners, in the public face, So this is what he's doing right here. He's saving face, essentially.
Yeah.
Let's go to the game. Let's talk about it. Let's go to you, Ads. Let's go to you, Ads, on this one.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel the overall game played out? It wasn't an easy one. I think it was you that actually said this would probably be our hardest test out of the games that we've got coming up. Was it yourself? You highlighted this game. It could be a big challenge. It was a big challenge. Obviously, 3-2 at the end. But what is it you noticed the difference between the first and the second half? Yeah.
I think firstly, I want to notice what I saw different in the first half compared to West Ham and Spurs, and it was mainly that we're playing a team that isn't trying to press us too high. They're trying to counteract what we do well, in terms of what we do well lately, which is that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, cool. Jem was saying that if I'm gone, but yeah. Anyways, basically what we were doing well in previous games was obviously the Caicedo, Corella pivot, and I think what Forest were doing is that they were sitting off of us. They had the free in the midfield, and then they were leaving the wide spaces open, but we could never really get it and work it out wide. So that was obviously an issue, especially in that first half. Second half, we went back to a bit more of a traditional fullback. Kind of saw Caicedo then play with Gallagher in the pivot, and then later on it ended up being Caicedo by himself on an island. And once you don't really like that, it ended up working out all right. So yeah, it was a difficult game because they were a low block and it was hard to break them down, hard to get through the lines. At times he was slow playing out and trying to find the pockets, and people obviously accused Thiago Silva of being slow on the ball, and at times he was certainly that today. But there are times where he's trying to just wait and be patient, and again, there's always that thin line between taking too long and also being composed. And certainly for the first goal, he was composed and waiting for the moments to actually open up where Palmer could receive it in the pocket, get on the half turn, and then make that beautiful pass into Mudryk. And yeah, I just feel like we didn't have enough moments like that in the first half, even in overall in the game, really. It was tough trying to break them down, but yeah, overall there were some good moments, not some also tough moments defensively. We really struggled with Hudson Odoi cutting aside on the left. Set pieces were at times an issue. But yeah, overall, our quality shone through, especially from the bench, which was good to see. Palmer was great. Caicedo was amazing. Yeah, a lot of good things to look at, but most importantly for me, like outside of performances, is just that we won. We won a game like this where it was tough, it was gritty. We had to show quality to win it, and we had so many moments like this earlier in the season where we would play pretty decent, miss big chances, and then be punished late. And for us, it was actually the opposite. Like, how many times this season have you seen somebody drop a celebration on us, like Cho did, doing the whole Rashford thing, and then we're like, oh yeah, now we've lost, like, and it just like it's game over. But watching that game, I felt like, you know what, we might be able to bring it back, and we did. So great to see him, man. Honestly, great things to see him.
I mean, AJ, do you air a lot of what Ads was saying?
Yeah, basically, you know, it was, you know, first of all, the main thing was that we won. We had to win the game to keep the Europa, you know, dream alive, dream. So it was very important to get the win. And I was worried because it did seem like Nottingham Forest kind of figured out the tactic that Poch has, you know, implemented. So I was at halftime, I was like, I really want to see what Poch is going to do, because this is a test essentially, and his job is already on the line. He knows that his job is on the line. Like, let's just put that out there. Poch knows his job is on the line. So us coming out in that second half and then giving up the it was, you know, we went behind. I was worried. I was very worried because I wasn't sure if we could score. I believe we were playing okay, but I wasn't sure if we could score. But we did end up scoring. Raheem, the subs made the difference. Like I said, the subs made the difference. And it's not regular subs we brought on. We brought on some really high quality players. Raheem Sterling, he's a quality player. Reece James and Kunku. You know, these are three players that can make a difference, you know, and that having that makes a difference, you know, having that makes a difference. The ability to have players that can make something happen, and on top of that, they can work together. That's very important. So I'm happy that was shown today, because the fans need to know that we do have good players. You know, it's just, it has to click, and it's starting to click. Hopefully it continues. And I think if Pochettino wins the last two games, he's going to keep his job for sure. You know, that's what's happening.
I don't think they'll get rid of him if he gets Europa League football. I've said that already. I don't think he goes anywhere. I think he has to get it. I think it's important. I'm just looking at how good of a cross that was, because to start from there, where he is the point of contact of the ball, which means he has to clear three defenders and beat the goalie. To get into there. Look at the state of it. Look at them.
Yep.
They're just like, what the there's nothing they could have done. They were just eliminated. And then on top of that, do you know what I love the most? Joe, I love the most is that when we broke forward, look at the three people in the box.
Yeah. Yep.
Look at the three people in the box. Jackson and Kunku, Palmer.
Yeah. Quality.
I don't think people are actually like, and James trying to assist, like, that is scary. I'm sorry, that is scary.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, like, these are quality players, you know, and we still haven't even gotten Kunku really going, you know. Reece James has had moments this season already. Jackson, Palmer, we still haven't even gotten Kunku going. So, it's going to get better, hopefully.
Honestly, this is the difference when you have quality players obviously available, and we know that. We've been saying that Pochettino hasn't had this, and I get that, but it was then about how he utilizes them, how he changes, how he problem solves, how he makes things happen. We went 2-1 behind today. He made substitutions, and they impacted. Reece James came out. I thought Kunku didn't have a great game, but I'm not even looking at Kunku this season because you can't look at. So, do you know what I mean? Kunku was scared of tackles today. It was obviously, I don't blame him.
We just want him to be fit. We just want him to get fit and get used to playing. That's it.
I think he just wants to get to the end of the season and get into pre-season and start doing his fit. And personally, that's what I think. But it was good to see him on the pitch, and even you see his quality. Even when I saw him and Palmer playing some serious link-ups today. I was like, geez, like, and the quality on the ball, like, they're both just stopping the ball, pinning it, and then ping, like, with their left or right. You know what I mean? Like, they were just very good.
Instant chemistry. It's instant chemistry.
Chemistry.
You know? That's what happens when it's good players, you know?
You know, I know, big up RIP, man. I always say RIP Angry Rant Man. He would have been proud today. He would have been proud today for that performance. But we are going to go into the Premier Chelsea ratings, guys, of each player. There's 250 people here. Keep smashing the likes, guys. Let's try and get this now to 150 and then 200 likes as well. If we can manage to get this to 200 likes, there's a good chance that we might be able to start doing more of these match reactions on the back of games. And this will grow. This will grow. The view numbers will grow. We're nearly at 300 people today, and it's only 30 minutes in. So let's keep hitting the likes. Let's try and keep pushing it out, guys, because then we won't have to be doing these reactions the next days, which I don't mind still doing. But I know a lot of people want to see it on the back of games, and we're willing to do that. We're willing to do that. Well, then let's talk about Petrovic, because I'll be quite honest with you. I thought he looked solid from set pieces today. I'm talking about corners. He just seemed to his position next to Chris Wood, catching the ball in important moments, like catching them, was something that I can see that he's improving in his game. He was a little bit like before, but now I'm starting to see him catch balls, and I'm like, go on, Petrovic. And you even see the players, they're all tapping on the back, like, go on, Petrovic, have a stick, like, boosting his confidence up as well. And I like, in important moments, like at the end of the game when Reece James gives the corner away from a block and they whip the ball in, I'm thinking in my head, as much as Chelsea fans are thinking, here we go, they're going to probably sneak one in back post. He gets himself in between Chris Wood, who was right next to him, and he just catches it in the air. And that just relieves so much pressure from the team and for everyone. And just be quite on it, to be serious, we ain't good from set pieces. And that showed in the first half. We are not good at defending set pieces, full stop.
All season too. So,
and go on. I mean, you look at the Jackson. Like, I blame Jackson for that goal, by the way. I'll be honest with you. The first one.
Yeah. Why is he so free? Like, oh man, that's the thing. First, you know what I also blame though? I also blame this hybrid zonal BS that we do. Obviously, what's his name? Boly is gonna be one of their main threats in the air. Get somebody on him. The main 2 or 3 threats have a body on them, and then everybody else can do the zonal stuff. That's how it's supposed to work. But Petrovic, you can see he's growing in confidence. You can see that he's growing every single game. Obviously, his main thing is the distribution, but even that to me is getting better. And I like my goalies to be more safe than sorry. Kick it up the field. Yeah. I'm fine with that. There's nothing wrong with the goalie kicking the ball up the field. Let's get that out there. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, in terms of him claiming those crosses and those corners, and he did it like on a good 4 occasions this game. Like, that is huge for this team, especially the fact that we're not good at set piece defense. So that's massive. We need that, and he's a good shot stopper, So I think he's still not the finished article. Obviously, he's young as well. Goalies get better once they're closer to like 30, That's when you really see a goalie like just cooking, So I think he's right on path. We got to stick with it right now. I don't know if we're going to go out for a goalie, but he's a good option.
I agree. I don't know if Forward's back with us yet, because I know he was doing his food, guys, at that time. But keep smashing the lights, guys, if you can. For me, like I said, I would have given him probably a 6. I don't really blame him for the Odoi goal. It was a good finish. I don't blame him for the first goal. Well done, Petrovic. Long may it continue. Let's get on to the defence. Cucurella. I thought he struggled in the first half because I think he had a lot to do. I think the inverted role wasn't working well enough. I think they sussed it slightly. And I think the second half, he was better by just playing in his natural position. He just picked up good positions and got on with it. I just don't like it because we go back. I feel like that second half setup was just what we've seen all season, where you just leave Caicedo on his own. Gallagher's running off, blimmin' 100 yards up the pitch again, and we were getting broke through that midfield in the second half. Too easy. Caicedo was trying to cover too much ground on his own again. And we stuck with it all the way through. But, it's different when it works is when they're pinned back or when we win the ball and we counter. But then you have people like Nkunku Palmer, you have them sort of players playing around him. When it's more of a solid midfield of him, Gallagher, Enzo and whatever, and they're playing well far away from him further up the pitch in them pockets, you don't really want to see him up there. You want to see the Nkunkus, you want to see the Palmers receiving the balls in it because they can be effective. It's different when you try and play it like that, but with players that are effective further up the pitch, Do you know what I mean? You listen, I think the second half we went back to his old ways. What I think was different with the second half, was the substitutions. I think the substitutions were neat. I think we were screaming for it anyway. But in terms of Cucurella, I thought he was all right. I'd probably give him a 7, to be quite honest. I actually think he's performed very well the last couple of games. He's stepping up and he's trying to, make himself count. He has little moments where he can be a bit rash, like he goes into balls too quickly and it leaves us a bit vulnerable. But overall, I thought he was okay. What about you, AJ?
I agree. I think over the last, maybe 2-3 weeks, Cucurella has maybe secured his spot in the team for next year. I think he's probably locked his, and I'm not saying as a starting player, but just in the squad. I think he's officially secured it. So
yeah.
Regarding today, like we said, Nottingham Forest kind of sussed out the tactic, So that's why we saw a lesser performance from Cucurella, especially in the first half, at least. And you're right. We did revert back to what we were doing all season, which is a wide open midfield. And I saw that you displayed that, early on in the stream, where it's just Caicedo on an island with nobody around him within 20 yards of all directions. And so that tactic being sussed out means Cucurella had to be pushed back out wide. And, we all know that that's not his best position, being a traditional left back. That's not his best position. But what saves it is we're able to bring on better players in the second half who are able to make things happen. So Cucurella, we don't have to depend on Cucurella defending too much because we're on the front foot. We're making things happen. We're controlling the game. So that's where, that fine balance of having a great player versus having a great attack who can take the pressure off an okay player, that's a very, blessing to have, because we don't have to rely on Cucurella defending all the time. We're on the front foot. Cucurella could just do the basics and pass the ball to Caicedo or pass the ball to Nkunku or pass the ball to Palmer. And that's it. We don't need anything else from you. So, again, I'll just, like you said, I'll give him a basic score of like a 7. He didn't have a great game. He didn't have a poor game. So I'll give him like a 7.
I think that's fair. I mean, Ads is back with us now as well. Ads, we're talking about Cucurella and his performance. I said it. I think he's had I think the first half we got a little bit found out, a bit sus. Second half he looked, I think, okay playing off the left back role. I think he's played well in the last couple of games, Cucurella. I know you're someone that's criticised him quite a bit. Were you happy with his performance in the second half?
I thought the second half was better. I think that's because of the system change, which again, credit to Poch for that. I do agree with what you guys have been saying. I just thought that the ratings may be a bit higher. I want to kind of reserve those ratings for players who did more for me. So I would have probably given him maybe a 5, but probably a 6. I think is maybe more fair. For me, like him in this inverted role, he suits it way more than obviously being out wide. But I still feel like he lacks certain fundamentals that I really want in a player that's going to be occupying those positions, because he misses a lot of opportunities to actually progress play, whether it's opening up his body to like receive maybe on his right foot, a place I think where he's not having to be so left foot focused, or even just drive with the ball, like take 10 yards and just eat up space and then draw somebody out. So then you can find Mudryk, because Mudryk's often there waiting for the ball, but he's just never really getting a chance to receive it because Cucurella's playing so negative and reserved and always wanted to go back inside. And that's fine to a degree, especially when you're giving Caicedo a lot of the ball. But there's times where we just need you to open it up and do something else, and he doesn't really bring that. And then when he went back to left back, okay, it was fine. Defensively, he was okay-ish. There wasn't really a winger on his side until Elanga came on late, so he wasn't really tested in that way. And then obviously offensively, we know we don't really get too much from Cucurella, so I feel like kind of has to get at the most for me a 6. So it was all right. I do agree with what AJ said, that he's probably cemented a place in the squad for next season at the very least. And we'll just take it from there with him. We know his limitations, but we also know that he can bring some good things, especially in this inverted role. So yeah, we'll have to steal with him.
Well, talking about Cucurella, look at his position here for this first goal from them. He does something. He does. He cracks me up. Look, he runs straight into the tallest defender and holds him off, so he can't get into it. So he completely knocks him out. But where the goal happens, and this is why I don't like what Jackson. Look at Jackson's whole position of a body, and look what he's doing. He's looking at the ball. He's looking at the ball. He's looking at the ball. Yeah, and then look, he looks at the ball here, and then look, he just stops. He just stops. He just leaves him. And look, that is why they scored today. And
Yep.
and people go, well, it's just the way we set up from, blame it on Poch for tactics. And partly I agree with corners. I don't like the way we set up for corners, but when it comes from free kicks and you see goals like this being given away, this is no one else's fault other than Jackson. Because the basics of defending, especially for him, someone that's tall, someone that is trained to defend set pieces, corners as part of his game as well, to just do that. Look, just
that's poor.
It's shocking. It's actually shocking.
It's
shocking.
But
and then by him doing that, look at Chalobah. Chalobah's like, crap, I've got to try and get across here. Why is he on his own?
But my thing is
but they did try to, and it's just hits Gallagher and goes in. And it's
why is he marking Boly though? Why is he marking Boly? That's the wrong personnel. To me, that's where it stems from. You have Badiashile. Badiashile ended up marking nobody. If you go back to
let's have a look. Wait a sec. Let's have a look. Badiashile was here.
There's two people on that guy. You don't need them there.
Watching. Silva's thinking Badia's marking him because I'm assuming Silva and Mudryk, are they just there to...
That's what I'm saying.
They're also kind of covering space. Mudryk is kind of irrelevant in that position. Then obviously Badiashile's kind of in between Silva and Gallagher, not really picking up anybody, but just picking up space.
That needs to switch. That come down. Why is Gallagher there?
It's poor. That's where it's like a domino effect. It all just goes down. It gets worse and worse and worse. Like one of Badiashile or Silva should be on Boly because those are the two best aerial threats. Let's make it really simple.
I hear you, but at the same time, also it's important to mark space in these kind of situations, right? It's just because let's say Badiashile's on that man and he just says, I'm gonna just follow Boly or whatever. But then if he just switches positions, then players are gonna be kind of out of sync, So sometimes you kind of just need to cover space, and then whoever's near to you, try and mark them up. And obviously with Nico, he's not a midget by any means. So as long as he just marks his man diligently, he can at least affect the header. Because again, if that's Drogba there. Drogba's no natural defender, but on set pieces for us, he would defend very well.
Jackson do the space marking.
Why is Cucurella marking him? Do you know what?
He's just blocking him, and he does well. Actually, he does well. He just blocks him.
Look, he does the smartest of everybody.
Cucurella goes to him. Look, watch. Look, Cucurella doesn't allow him to get in the box. Cucurella goes to him.
He knows he's a threat. He stops him.
You're staying there. Are you mad?
I mean, AJ, you also got to bear in mind that they've obviously got more taller players than us, so we got to just make do. But I think if Jackson just does a good enough job, then he can affect the header, but he does nothing. So it's a free header for him.
What really annoys me about Jackson here is he the ball goes in his position. He knows that he's there, but he just stops. Look, it's that. It's that attitude. What is that?
Yeah. I'll be honest, today watching him, we'll get onto him individually, but honestly, watching him, bro, it looked like he was lagging, bro. There was times where just in his head, it just looked like he did not know what he was doing. It was just weird watching him, bro. Weird.
I agree. All right, let's move on from him. Let's go to Badiashile because he was taken off by Pochettino. I don't know what to really say about his performance. I'll be quite honest with you because every time I talk about him, I don't want it to sound like I'm coming across that he's bad because I know it's not bad, but I think in the first half there were moments where he got dragged out of position, and I'm like, what are you doing there, Badiashile? Hold your position, bro. Why are you running into midfield trying to win balls? When Cucurella and Caicedo are there, and then you've left the right so exposed. And the amount of times the right got exposed because he kept coming out of position in the first half was horrible. And we're going to get onto the other side eventually with Chalobah, which, it's another thing. But I just felt like he had a very below par performance. And I think that's why in the second half he got taken off, because I think as a defender, he was very ineffective. He didn't really do much. He just wasn't as good as he was the last two games. And I think that Pochettino's seen Chalobah and Silva play, and he sees that there's a chemistry that he can play them two together there, and there's a chemistry they can get it done. And I wanted Badiashile to get out of the four of them, even though Chalobah struggled up against Hudson Odoi many times in his positioning. I actually think Badiashile coming off and putting Chalobah in centre back made sense, in my opinion. So I would give Badiashile probably a 3. If you want my opinion, I don't think he was good whatsoever. I'm not saying he had a bad get. It wasn't like the Arsenal game, is what I'm saying. No, he wasn't bad. It wasn't like the Arsenal game. It's just that.
Yeah,
I didn't think he was exactly good. Does that make sense? I can't explain it.
I agree. I think it obviously the choice was between Badiashile and Chalobah. So to be honest, either way that he went, I would have been kind of okay with it because we have seen Badiashile perform well with Thiago. But more recently, and that was recent too as well, but more recently, we have seen Chalobah and Silva have a good relationship. So it made sense to take him off. I don't know if he took him off because he was trash. He just really needed to get Gusto and Reece James on the field.
Yeah. He just wasn't at it for me. Like I'm not saying he done anything bad because he didn't. I just don't think he like, I get why I took him off, if that makes sense. Like because it felt like an ozone moment might have just happened, and I just can feel something brewing. So I just think Pochettino was like, "No, you're coming off. We ain't risking this. Come on."
Yeah, I don't think he had the worst game. Like I actually don't think he was hooked in the sense that he was playing so bad as a CB that he had to come off. It was just a case of I've got top quality fullbacks I want to bring on. Do I take off Baddy or do I take off Chalobah or do I take off Baddy and move Chalobah inside? And I feel like Chalobah at this point is higher in the pecking order, so it made sense. I like that sub. I think Baddy was just okay-ish. Not that as great as he was in previous weeks. His passing, like in terms of like breaking lines, he wasn't really doing much of that. It was just an okay-ish performance. Headed out a few crosses. Was okay. At times dragged out. You're right. And he made one big mistake actually at the start of the game when Chris Wood was in 1v1 and then Petrovic made that good save from the attempted chip. Right, if you remember that moment earlier, I think he even said it in the chat, Jim, that we were like caught wide open, and like that was a howler. Like that was a howler moment where if you concede them, we're like looking straight at you, Baddy, saying that was a horrible mistake. So, fortunately for him, he got away with it. But overall, I thought he was just okay, and then not good, but just not necessarily bad either. So I'll probably give him like a 5, and just say that he was just there, to be honest.
Just there. That was it for me. He was
just there.
Just there, yeah. That sounds like he was there, but it wasn't anything really from it. And like Thiago Silva for me was the one out of the two that actually tried to play the balls out. And even he took a little bit too long again on balls sometimes, but he did make a couple good passes through the middle and in between the lines and tried to find it. And nearly scored with the header, hit the post. He always seems to just be more involved. And when he's on the pitch, he just seems so much more calmer, like getting across the pitch, covering, winning the ball, keeping the ball and playing it in. Like we're going to miss him. The truth is we are going to miss this guy next season. A big abundance. We missed him when he weren't even playing for that period. And we were like, and I was like, we need to get this guy in the team, man. Like what we're doing. Like he has to, it sounds really bad, but I still feel like he has to play. He has to play, man. And it's probably because we haven't got all of our centre-backs available with like Colwill and Fofana out as well, which doesn't help. But for me, he was a 6.5. I don't think he was amazing and I don't think he was bad. I just worry for next season. If we don't buy a centre-back that's just going to show some authority or a bit of experience, I think we're going to have a problem next season, guys. I'm not looking forward to our defence next season.
We definitely... if we were to re-sign Thiago, I wouldn't mind because unless we pick up somebody, because we're definitely missing a certain skill set that he has. None of these center backs can do what he's doing, which is fully read the game, lead the team, and he's still the best one on the ball. So it's a massive hole, And then the center backs that we linked with, that Fulham guy for free, like that's like to me that's just a person, It's not really like a difference maker. So I don't know what we're gonna do, but today I give him a little bit more than a 6.5. I give him a 7 because I believe towards the end of the game there were a couple instances where he kind of cleaned up everything for us. There were a couple times he tracked the striker and cleaned it, and there were a couple instances where we were kind of silly on the ball and he kind of cleaned it up for us. So I'm giving him a 7, but again, it wasn't a vintage Thiago Silva. Oh yeah, he did have that he almost scored that chance, which would have been a fire goal. Like that was classic Thiago Silva right there. But I wish that went in. I love when he scores, but I give him a 7.
Yeah, cool. I hear you. Let's move on here. If we can, we've got to fly a little bit here, guys. Okay, let's move on to.
Got to be the one-man midfield next, surely.
Chalobah. Let's quickly talk about Chalobah quickly.
Oh, of course. He's actually left them out.
Yeah, we can talk about it overall. I think he struggled in the first half in that position. I think Hudson Odoi gave him a lot of problems. I like Chalobah. I still like Chalobah. Might just be a bit of biasy from me, but I just think he's good on the ball. He's calm. He don't generally get beaten too much, in my opinion. You can have moments where he finds himself out of position, like he did today in the first half, where he's just not where he needs to be. I think that can be an issue. But then again, I don't really blame him too much because we're playing him, we're forcing him into a position that we know he's not really at his best anyway. So he's kind of trying to just fill in for the other two. But second half, him playing in the central role it's just Chalobah, isn't it? Like that's where he's comfortable, playing in that central back position, and he keeps showing that. And there's this Chalobah is a better version of Chalobah than we have seen. Well, we have seen since he started, in my opinion. I think he's improved his game quite a bit still. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on him?
Go ahead, Ads.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say that I agree. I thought at times struggled going up against a very good winger, I must say. But no, he had some problems there for sure. And obviously on the ball, he doesn't give you the same things that obviously Augusto or Reece James give you, of course. But overall, just okay. Then I thought he was good once he went back into CB. So I'll probably give him a 6 and say that he was fine.
Cool. AJ, anything you want to say on that?
No, I mean, really the same thing. Like you said, though, I like Chalobah. I still, would want him in the squad because he always performs to me. Obviously, he's not a right back, so, we're not going to get too much from him on there. So, standard.
Cool. Right, let's move on from the back four. Well, we can stick to the back four. Let's stay there. Let's go with Reece James. Go on, I'll let you guys talk. I've done a lot of talking on Reece James. So whoever wants to talk on Reece James in that 11-minute cameo, go on, AJ. You start this one.
I mean, what is there really to say? This guy is just, it's levels. It's really levels like in life, and in the sport as well. So, you see the difference that he makes, how comfortable he is on the ball, what he can do with the ball, how he could impact the score line, Like this guy is just, he's a world-class player, Remember, he hasn't played in like 6 months, and he's back doing this, like it's nothing, So that's really it, We just, we need these type of players on the field. That's really it.
It's more of a collective / coaching issue. Our defense issues because we can't defend the aerials in our box, is what Seppa says. Ads, anything you want to say on this baller? He's back at the end.
Yeah, no, I mean, we already spoke on him earlier, but I mean, all it is to say is just that the top players make hard things look quite easy, and with him it's just effortless. Like the cross was effortless. There's a couple of switch balls that he did, but just effortless. Like he's just a top quality player. And as long as we get him back to full fitness, and don't overload him with like games and minutes, then we should be fine because you've got a top talent here, man. Top talent.
What about Malo Gusto? I mean, I'm going to be quite honest here. I think Hudson Odoi got him hard for the goal. I think he got caught. He tried to show him down that wing, but Hudson Odoi loves cutting inside. That's just Hudson Odoi, like cutting inside and taking a shot, a bit like what Sterling did. Like, I don't think his body position, Gusto, was the best, and I think that's what caught him. And it was just a good finish, to be fair, by Hudson Odoi at the end of it. But still, like, I don't know. I expect better from Gusto. And when he comes on for Chalobah, I expect him to deal with that. He's a right back. He should understand his body positions when he's defending a certain player, how to stop that from happening, how to stop that guy from cutting in and making that chance. And if he gets into that position, then block it, get involved. But I can only really criticise him for that. Equally, we saw a Gusto and Reece James right side, where Gusto was the further forward as the right winger and Reece James was the right back. I think that could bring versatility in the future. I don't think we could play that in every game because they're both injury prone, but that could give you a good versatility because Reece James can go forward and Gusto could play in that right back role and vice versa. And I think that could be something that we could use in the future against maybe the bigger teams if need be, if they're all fit. But Gusto, I'll let you go on. Gusto.
Nah, I mean, first of all, I really like the player, and we all season we wondering how it's gonna work with both Reece James and Gusto fit, and I guess we saw, an option today, so that was cool. it's hard for me to really rate him, you know, because again, it was a cameo. He did make a difference, obviously, at the right back, because now we have, you know, another option going forward. We get more width, you know, we have more ability on the ball because he's very good on the ball as well, you know, and he can create chances. So he makes a difference right away, just being on the field, just being him, you know. So, but in terms of the game, I think, you know, I'd give him like a 6.5. You know, he did make a difference, like I said, but I don't think he had his best game. And then he was pushed forward when Reece came on, and I think, you know, that kind of muted his impact. In terms
he did have a big chance at the end as well, by the way. He was put free by Palmer, and probably a good save you could say, but maybe on another day you should probably finish it, to be honest. But no, I agree with everything else that you said, though.
Got in. Ads, you can start Caicedo, because again, I thought he weren't great in the first half, but he just finds a way just to get in games recently, didn't he? Like find his way back into it. And like the second half, I thought he was better, and his passing in behind was actually, and I kept saying it was not only just the one with Reece James, he done one to Palmer over the top. If you remember in the second half, where he just dipped it over the top, and if Palmer would have hit it, it would have been another good chance. Like this guy is a serious baller, really. Is he a baller, or what are we saying about Caicedo?
No, he's a top baller. So underrated of what his actual technique. Like honestly, this guy, no, he's top. He's top. I mean, he's probably like one of my man of the matches for today. I'm stuck between him and another person for how they performed today, because I thought even first off he was good. He was putting their clamps on Morgan Gibbs White at times. Also, like again, he was getting a lot of the ball. And obviously, we were struggling to break lines, but at least he was trying things at times, trying to switch plays, trying to bring it up the field. And obviously, second up of what he was even better. And there was obviously times where he was in the pivot with Gallagher, and then at the end when he was literally just on an island once Reece James came on, and he was still doing well. And obviously got the assist for the Sterling goal. Though that was a more of a basic pass, but the pass to Reece James for the Jackson goal, the winner, that was quality. And there were so many other passes in there where he was breaking lines, playing it over the top, getting Jackson involved, Palmer in between the lines. It was so good, man, honestly. And yeah, I just feel like in the right system, this guy can absolutely cook, bro. He's a top technician. He's versatile. Like he can win balls a lot. Like I'm sure the numbers even today with tackles and ball recoveries were high as well. So again, top performance. I'll probably give him an 8.5 out of 10.
Anyone else want to talk about Caicedo?
Can Caicedo work with Enzo? That's my genuine question. No. This isn't a shot. This is not a shot. It's not a shot. Enzo's a top baller. This is not a shot. This is a genuine question. In Poch's system, can Enzo and Caicedo work together? In Poch's system,
if we have a sitter next to Caicedo, yeah, like we do with Cucurella.
Okay. Okay, because it's like I'm noticing this. That's what was going to be my comment. I don't think Poch knows how to utilize these ballers together. That's going to be my genuine, excuse me, by the way, I'm in the gym. My genuine concern is I think our midfield can reach a new level if we can incorporate Enzo with Caicedo using his strengths. The problem is we don't have the sitter to facilitate that. That's why when you see Caicedo next to Gallagher, Caicedo usually ends up shining in those games. And that's why I wanted to comment on that, because it's interesting to me that Caicedo can sort of have a stinker depending on who his partner is because of Poch's system and how he's being deployed tactically.
If I may coming back on and in on that, like I hear where you're coming from for sure, and I agree with a lot of that. But like there were obviously times where Caicedo and Enzo worked great together. Like I think of Aston Villa away in the cup where they were brilliant together as a pivot, and we saw them actually be closer than they were for a lot of the season. And again, when people say Caicedo and Gallagher has been good together, like on the ball, they don't really play together. Like they're in a completely two different lines. It's more Caicedo and Cucurella. And obviously then Gallagher defensively is obviously doing better than Enzo was doing this season for sure. But ultimately, this season, like, it's worked quite well at times. But I think the question is, can they work well at a top level and actually challenge for a league title, do well in Europe together as a pivot? And I think they can in the right system for sure. But
like we got here, I mean, what Keyshawn's saying here. Imagine you've seen what Caicedo can do in the ball for the Reece James goal, for the ball to Palmer. Him and Enzo, both of that 8, being able to make them passes, I think gives us a lot of creativity. I mean,
we've seen that at times this season. It's just not been as much as we would have liked. And obviously, the recent perception of Enzo is a bit skewed because he was playing half injured. There was awful performances in there, like Arsenal. So it's a bit skewed. But honestly, they both can work together for sure.
Remember, he was injured too. Like, I'm not here to paint a negative picture on Enzo. If there's any two players I'm trying to keep, it's Enzo and Caicedo. I just have to have that honest assessment of it because it's like I need to see our team not injured. That's why I keep getting pissed off when it comes to Poch, and I don't want to segue into this, but it's like I need to see our team not injured so I can fully crucify this man. Because I do think he's deploying some of our players incorrectly. I'm being genuine with that. And it's like I can't make that full stamp on it because it's like then I'll see games like this and I'm like, well, we have the attacking proficiency really to hang with practically almost anyone except in the top four. So, and even then, we took Aston Villa to the cleaners. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's an issue with me. It's like, we have the worst defense we've ever seen in like maybe 20, 30 years, but our attack has improved drastically. So it's like, I don't know how to feel about the team overall in general.
Does it mean we have to take him out and do what Stowie says and play Enzo Palmer and Caicedo in games and see what sort of productivity we get there? Maybe we will find ourselves a bit more vulnerable and Caicedo will find himself a bit more. But he does, for me, fall down to a lot of instructions. I still think Enzo can do a job. I'm not going to lie. I still think he can. I think the instructions of what we do on the ball when transitioning forward from deep, i.e. defense gets the ball, turns, Caicedo gets the ball, turn. That's the problem. That's the bit. It's like the funnel, you know. It's like you're asking whoever it is that's playing a 6 to play a 10 and leave Caicedo on his own. Like, why are we doing that? Like, why have we got such big gaps?
I agree.
And when you look at the second half again, we didn't invert Cucurella. He told him to stay out there. But let's be serious and let's not ignore it. How open was our midfield again? Because Gallagher wasn't next to Caicedo in that second half. He was all the way at that other end of the pitch again, trying to press. And the amount of times that Forest broke forward down that left with Hudson Odoi and Caicedo's having to sprint across to try and cover and help. And there's no one even next to him to cover him. And then he's trying to get across the midfield to try and cover that bit. It's still the same shit in the second half. It's just that we got away with it with a bit of quality from the substitutions that we made at the end. I'll be quite honest with you. There was no difference to that midfield. We can't ignore it.
And my thing is, we weren't doing the inverted tactic with Enzo. You know, that's just started recently. So we don't even know what that looks like, you know, so it's very hard to even judge what it could look like. Did we see it in preseason? I think so. I think we saw it in preseason, and Enzo was getting pretty forward in preseason. You know, he wasn't scoring his chances, but he was getting chances. But
yeah. We got 15 minutes to smash this out. So let's try and fly through this. Conor Gallagher, I don't think he had the greatest game today, to be quite honest with you. I think he was
average. Let's not make this complicated. Average. Put him dead the middle. I don't care. 6, 7, whatever you want to go.
Yeah, I just think he broke down the play a lot, like in the final third. It's like we were trying to do all these ticky-tacky, like, you know, get around Forest because it was tight in there and we needed our intricate, like our good players, like Palmer and that, to be in them positions, you know, like skip one and play one in between the two and then run off it. And like, you know what I mean? When you're trying to do them little intricate moments in between where it's very tight and we're trying to work a way to break through them and you've got Gallagher in there just like, do you know what I mean?
No, but Jem, that's my point. I wish we could get Enzo in those attacking positions that Gallagher is in, but keep the defensive prowess and the interceptions that Gallagher provides in the midfield, i.e. we need another sitter.
But we don't, but I think that Gallagher thing is false though, because we still give up goals. We gave up 2 goals today, you know?
No. Defensively though, we are shocking. Like tactically and with our defenders. Defensively, we are shocking them. Like shocking.
This thing of Gallagher makes us defensively strong. It's a myth. It's a myth.
Why we look better in the midfield is because we inverted Cucurella. And what people keep forgetting, and I won't let people get away with this because it's the narrow-minded Chelsea fans on Twitter that are doing this. We were 2-0 down to Aston Villa in the first half before we inverted Cucurella for the first time in the second half where we looked better.
Facts.
So people was not on the field the whole time. So
stop this nonsense about about Gallagher and fucking Caicedo being better than Enzo because it's the most dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Cole Palmer, go on. He's just so good on the ball. He's cold, right?
7.5. 7.58.
You know, he was just good, wasn't he?
The funny thing is, he's very good, and he's still kind of wasteful. Still, you know, he could be even like
he can be better. Yeah,
like that's the thing that's a little like he had a golden chance from that him and Caicedo did a nice little link up, and Caicedo played a nice chip through ball in the air, and Cole fluffed the volley, and those are the moments that I want to see, because I know that for the most part he can do everything, but in the clutch moments like that, I need to see Cole burying those chances, and he's fluffed his lines too many times. But other than that, this guy is our best player. Right now he's our best player.
You can see it. And
bring me Reece James. Bring me Reece James.
Anything that comes good from Chelsea going forward usually starts or finishes with Cole Palmer, doesn't it? Let's be serious. A lot of the times. Let's go to the wing. Mudryk. I'm going to be quite honest with you. He was a 2 for me. He was crap. Like I've got nothing more to say about it. This is why it was good that we had the bench we had with Sterling and Nkunku, Reece James, all of them, because he just wasn't at it today. He could not beat Aina, and he was just wasteful. We kept carrying the ball too much. Like, release the ball, bruv. Like, and sometimes he, like the one where we were breaking and Mudryk was sprinting off and he turned round and went backwards after we just won the ball from a corner was criminal. Like, it's little things like that where I was just like, Mudryk, what are you doing, bro? It wasn't good for me. Very poor for me too.
He's been on form. He's been on good form recently. I think maybe he was due a game like this because he's still inconsistent. He's still young. He's still raw. So
that's
why he was due a game like this. It wasn't the best game.
That's why we need that bench.
Yep, exactly.
That bench. We can't rely on these wingers. We can't rely on them yet. They're not consistent enough.
Yeah.
But that's that. And let's go to who I thought was the better of the two for once, Mudryk.
Yeah. 7.5. Solid. I would still say very, just like Mudryk is, literally opposite sides of the coin. Very raw, very technically inefficient. But the kid has talent, whether people want to accept it or not. He has talent. So, I don't know if he's going to develop to be a proper winger, but I do know he has talent, and I do know he's going to be inconsistent. So it's about whether we're going to give him the time to develop.
Yeah,
I agree. He scored. He showed good technique on the goal. That's what we've been asking for from Mudryk, to execute the final action with good technique, and he did that on the goal. But other than that, you still see throughout the game his touch is heavy. His passes, the weight of the passes are off. The aim of the accuracy of the passes are off. So he still is raw, like Callie said. He still has a lot of work to go through. But he did score, so I give him, and he had an okay game. He tracked back on defense, so I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, I hear. Let's move on from him. Nkunku, I don't really want to rate him too much because, like I said, we'll come back to Jackson in a second. We've not, he's not played that much, but he came on some good little link-up play with Palmer that I like to see, and and I hope he finishes off strong and he keeps himself fit and he gets him the preseason, because you see the quality, and you can just see it when he receives the ball with 1-2, like comfortable, flicks around. He's just so good, isn't he? When someone's good, you can just see it, can't you? Like, where they carry themselves and that. Like, he just needs to be created for in the box, and and he will be in the box. That's one thing I can tell you. Like, that guy will be in the box. And if you find him, he's going to bang goals.
Yep.
We need a fit Nkunku. We need a sharp Nkunku, and we need him for next season. I need him in the team next season for me.
That's all that I care about. I just want him to get fit. That's it.
Facts. What about let's go to Sterling. Clutch came on, said, "Here you go. I'm back, it's Raheem style. Take that." And and it was a vintage Clutch Sterling type of goal, right? I mean, what was your thoughts on him when I find him? Where is he? Where is he?
Callie, you go first.
I say the same things about Sterling. It's just like it's because of the amount he's getting paid. That's the problem with it. Is like he gets paid so highly, so obviously people want more out of him, and that's a fair take. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. As you can see, Sterling really does not need much time to be efficient on the pitch. The problem with Sterling is just, honestly, I think it's his mentality sometimes. Sometimes he's locked in for the game, i.e. Man City, i.e. today coming off the bench, and then other games he's just absolutely dreadful and very, very inefficient when it comes to his take-ons and honestly his shooting, his finishing. You make fun of Gabriel Jesus all you want, but sometimes Sterling's finishing is just as bad. So my thing is today in isolation, like what more can you ask for? Literally came on within 2 minutes, goal. So, and it was a great goal at that. Like, let's not take that away from him. A great finish. So, I mean, I really don't like grading substitutes because, like, I don't think it's a lot of time on the pitch to really give a fair score. But if we're doing it on the basis of goal, again, 7.
I agree. I agree with everything. That was classic Sterling, a classic Sterling goal.
Sure. All right, I'm gonna let you unleash on him on this guy because I can't be asked.
Okay. No. Let me do this quick. Let me do this quick only because I got to go do something for my brother's wedding. My thing with Jackson, for 30 million, he's doing what I'm asked. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for 30 mil, we've gotten enough output from him to justify the 30 mil. My issue with Jackson is this man's conversion rate is probably just as shit as Darwin Núñez. Like, if he put these goals in the back of the net, Cole Palmer walks away today with 2 assists. Easy. Like, undeniably so. He almost, and let me be real, that beauty of a fucking cross by Reece James, he almost didn't put that shit in. And if he would have missed that,
oh my God, that would have been
listen, you could never get an easier header in the game than what Reece James gave that man at the end of the game. And he almost missed it. Don't get it twisted. He almost missed it. So my thing with him is his finishing has to improve, man, because he is going to continue to be in the place to make these goals. Like, I don't know if anyone that's been watching Chelsea this whole season, Nico Jackson gets in position to score.
Yeah.
We used to make fun of Timo Werner. We make fun of all these people that are inefficient. Alvaro Morata, the list goes on, man. It's continuing again. In place to score, should bury that shit, and he does not. He should have walked away with a hat trick today. How many times are we saying this about this player? Yeah. So it's like, you know, for 30 mil, like I said, I'm getting the output I want. But at the same time, I'm sick because we could honestly be in the top 5. We could. If he buries these goals,
yeah, we'd be higher than top 5 if he was actually burying his chances. But he has 14 goals, you know, and, you know, when's the last time we had a striker that scored 14 goals, you know, and that's not even, that's a decent amount, but it's not amazing. But for 30 mil, that's great, you know. We know what we're getting from him, you know. Hopefully he just improves for next season. That's it.
That's it, guys. And you know what? It was a good comeback. It was a good performance. It was good everything from the boys in blue. We've got Brian on Wednesday. We will be doing a match preview and reaction for that as well. 2 more games left. Lots to get into. Poch is up in the air in terms of if he's going to be staying at the club or not. We'll have to find out. I still think he needs to get European football for this club. There's a lot that still needs to happen. He did get it right today with the substitutions, and they bailed him out at the end with the Reece James and the Sterling. So, it's good. We move on. We have got to come off because we've got a vlog getting uploaded now on the Chelsea Fan TV site as well, guys. It's been very good doing the match reaction. I appreciate you all. Hopefully, we see you more again on the back of match of games. So we'll see how it goes. We had 300 people in here as well. Smash the like, subscribe. Hello. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments as well, guys. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you again very soon. AJ Kelly, big up, guys. We'll see you all again.
Up the chest.
Up the chest.